Sup gamers, welcome back to another Sojourner Light commentary. Today we're going to be talking about my internet problems that I have been having for eons, for decades. I think it's basically a meme at this point that whatever internet service provider I somehow managed to get, I always find the worst option and have consistently, basically since everyone's known me online, had really bad connection problems. The first place that I lived in when I was really making content and all of that didn't have terrible internet, but it definitely wasn't, the greatest. It wasn't anything to write home about and all of that. But it's been getting consistently worse to the point now where I feel like I have to kind of face the music and admit a couple of things to myself and admit that I need to take a break again from YouTube and all of that, just so that I can focus on moving. That's the whole video. That's what I'm going to be talking about. But I wanted to just to give you an idea of how terrible my internet has been for the last year or so. I want to walk you through all of the processes and all of the problems that I've had over the last year so that you guys understand how much of a pain this is and how much I need to actually dedicate time to in order to move out and move to a new location where I know that I can get better internet and hopefully work on content a little more consistently from there. Because one of the things that frustrates me the most right now is that I so badly want to stream, and I can barely stream. I can stream. I have the bitrate available to stream with, but it's never consistent. It goes down in bad weather like we've been having for the past couple of days. It just does not work. Sometimes it'll just be like, oh, and you're not connected anymore, and your internet speed is actually, you have 0.08 upload speed, is something that I saw one day when I was about to go live streaming. It is horrendous. So let me give you the full recap. So I moved to the United States about a year and a few months ago, and that was when I was like living with my parents. It was in the wake of some really big mental health problems that I had at the time, and I needed to, reset, move a little closer to family and all of that. That's all well and good, and I think that my reasons for moving were perfectly valid. The reasons that I took a break back then were a totally good reason, because I was moving countries. I was trying to readjust for a new post-secondary institution. I was trying to figure out where to go and figure out all the logistics of how do I get to this location? How do I apply? What transcripts do I need to get, and how much time do I have to do this and everything? So I moved out to the state of Idaho. I'm in this tiny little town that my parents, through some connection, managed to purchase with my uncles. They all wanted to move out here anyway, and so they purchased a location in this tiny little town. But the problem is that because this town is so small, none of the internet service providers here are any good, and they're all ridiculously expensive. So when I first moved out here, though, I actually stayed with my cousins for a month, and they live in the larger town that has the university here. And I used their internet, and their internet was incredible. It was like 200 up and 200 down, speeds of which I have never seen before. I could download games immediately. Those first like Legends of Runeterra commentaries that I did back then were also really speedy uploads. I think each of them took less than 15 minutes for me to upload. I was amazed by the speeds, because I knew that this is something that I just saw the internet I just saw the internet icon in my taskbar actually just wink out of existence in the time that I've been recording this. Anyway, staying with my cousins and everything, I was able to upload a bunch then because their internet speed was really, really good. And I asked them, hey, what internet service provider do you use and how much are you paying for it? They told me the provider. They told me the monthly payment that they had for it, which was extremely low. I think it was something around $60 a month for this thing. Incredible stuff, like really good service provider from them. But of course, because staying with my cousins was a temporary thing, I had to eventually move out. And I did, and I moved into this location where I'm sharing joint rent in like a duplex situation with my family. That's the whole situation going on there, while you might hear some background noise from me on occasion. But the problem with this small town is, of course, that the internet is terrible, because the providers just haven't really reached out here yet, because there's not a whole lot going on out here, even though it's like 20-minute drive from where my cousins are. And so when I first moved out here, I was still editing. I was looking for editing jobs. Specifically, I was looking to edit for Sunnysplosion. I was still trying to edit for Dark Sword. I was looking to edit for Absolution and a couple other content creators at the time. And so I needed an internet service provider, and so I got the same people that I got before, but because this town has no infrastructure, the connection was far, far worse. It would take me for Sunnysplosion's channel, even though Sunnysplosion wanted me to only edit 8-minute videos, which usually ended up being a little over a gigabyte in size. Those videos themselves would take over 2.5 hours to upload. The maximum download speed that I ever saw from this internet service provider, despite being told something else, was 1.4 megabytes per second, which is not good. That basically means that over the span of an hour, I would be able to download 1 gigabyte worth of data. A lot of games are often a gigabyte or larger. Even Deep Rock Galactic, which I recently installed and reinstalled and have been trying to play as a more of a chill background game on occasion, is a 3 gigabyte game, which would have taken me 3 hours on the previous internet service provider. But then an alternative was found, and my uncles set it up and got us all connected on it and stuff. And the internet download speed went from being the 1.4 megabytes per second to usually around 3 megabytes per second, which also doesn't sound great because it's not. But considering that for several months I'd been working with this provider that was not giving me great speeds previously, this sudden almost tripling in speeds was incredible to see. However, despite that, the upload speed is still bad, and if I have bad weather like I have been recently with all of the snow and the sudden snap freezing and everything going on, my connection is spotty and inconsistent at best. And it's gotten to a point now where I am so frustrated with it because a lot of my hobbies and a lot of my freelance career that I want to be able to pursue, like casting, I want to be able to keep pursuing content creation and streaming regularly, but I can't do it because these internet service providers are just so bad that I'm physically unable to pursue anything. I'm physically unable to do anything that I really, really want to out here. And it sucks because I keep consistently making these promises saying, oh yeah, I'll stream this day or I'll have a video up on this day. But then because of bad internet connections and concerns and issues, I can't upload consistently. It is so mind-bogglingly frustrating. So what I need to do is move out. And I've been recently looking around the town that my college is in, and there are a lot of properties available for really decent rates and stuff. And there's a couple of connections that I've made and a couple of people that I know I can talk to about renting and everything so that I can move into a place that has serviceable internet. And if it doesn't have serviceable internet, I know I can purchase a plan. I know of the providers in the area because I have been looking for ages for someone that's just better than what I have right now. So I know I have that option available to me, but in order to actually make the steps necessary to getting that internet stuff, I have to do a lot of other IRL things that I have been putting off entirely because I've been procrastinating my time away online. So that's where the break comes in. I need to move. I have a plan to move. I have a reason for moving. I just need some time. I just need a little bit of time to go out and get these things done, get my life in order, get stinking internet back up and running. I want to start editing for people again. I'll be open to commissions in hopefully the near future. I want to move by the end of March. That is my ideal goal. And we'll hopefully be back up and running and streaming more regularly then. Also have an announcement coming for the 100th video on the channel. I'm just waiting for a couple of other things to fall into place. And I also kind of want to be in a internet stable location before I am making these big announcements so that I have something to follow up with when that change comes through. So I hope you're all ready. I'm sorry for having to step down like this and not really be as engaged as before, but it is so frustrating to be playing League of Legends and not knowing if I'm going to be disconnecting from matches randomly, or if I'm streaming and my bitrate suddenly goes to 0 and it's like, well, all right, cool, I've sacrificed all of my quality for the sake of my own hubris and for the sake of not moving sooner. Anyway, that's just some frustration off my chest. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye.